Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to talk about ways that I increase my income. Now, everybody's in a different situation, so I'm not saying that this will work for everybody, but in this video, I want to explain things that have personally worked for me in increasing my income. So let's get started. One of the ways I increase my income throughout the years is by getting a higher paying job. Now, after I graduated college, I started out working at a warehouse, moving heavy equipment like TVs, washers, dryers, and I only made $8 an hour doing that. And it was very stressful. And I wasn't using, machines to move the equipment for me. I had to use my physical body and lift up these TVs and washers and dryers. So it was very painful. At the end of the day, I would come home and my body would be very tired. And I was only making $8 an hour, so I was very glad to leave that job. And next, I moved on to packaging women's clothes for $8.50 an hour. Now, this was a pay increase, but not a huge one, only 50 cents. And how it works was that I went to work, and there's an assembly line that the boxes would come down, and I would have to put clothes in there and package and tape up the boxes, and then they would get sent to the truck and then delivered to the stores. And so I boxed up women's clothes for $8.50 an hour for 8 hours a day. Next, I moved on to assembling heart catheters for $11 an hour. This was a bigger income increase, from $8.50 to $11 an hour. So I was very happy about that. I even went out and celebrated with my family once I got this job. Now, heart catheters, what they are is they're medical devices that go into the human body up to the heart. And the catheters that I was working on were catheters that would go into the heart and basically burn heart tissue. So they would go into the heart and burn heart tissue, and that would help solve some heart problems. And I was the one who was actually making these heart catheters. I would be taking the pieces and materials and I would be putting them together. And that's what I did for $11 an hour. I worked there for a while and I moved on to another company that did testing dental lasers. This company, they made equipment that burned lasers into your teeth. So I was doing tests on those machines. The tests involved running the laser machines and seeing how powerful they were for an extended period of time. Like, for example, after 2 hours, like how strong was the laser? I would be doing those kind of tests. And I did that for $13 an hour. Next, I moved on to inspecting brain implants for $17 an hour. This company that I worked for, they basically specialized in making tiny little microscopic coils that get implanted into your brain. So in this situation, I wasn't the one making these things. I was actually the one just inspecting them. So after they're already finished and completed, they would come to me and I would look under a microscope to make sure that they meet all the requirements and that there's no visual defects and things like that. And that's what I did for $17 an hour. Eventually, I moved on to reviewing paperwork for $25.30 an hour. Now, this was a big change for me because I was used to working with a physical product, right? But now I moved on to working with the paperwork involved with the product. And it was a very big price increase, $25.30 an hour, up from $17 an hour. I was very happy about this. I took my family out to dinner, celebrated. It was great. So I'm very happy to have continually increased my income over the years. And the basic idea is that I work at a certain place, do the work, and then I use that experience from that job to apply to another position that's relevant to the work that I was doing. And then I would work at that company for a little while and then use that experience from that job to apply to another relevant position that paid a little bit higher. And I would continually do this over and over. Right now, I've kind of hit a plateau, or at least, how should I put it? I've realized that the wage that I get paid isn't everything. There's much more important factors to look at. So I'm comfortable where I'm at right now, and I don't intend to leave my job to work for another one anytime soon. It's just that this is what I've been doing up until this point, and it's worked for me. On to the next way of increasing my income. I've worked multiple jobs or side jobs. One example of this is Amazon Flex, or delivering packages. There's other examples of this like Uber Eats and Postmates and things like that, but the one that I specifically used was Amazon Flex. What happened was, I live close to Amazon warehouse, and I would drive to the Amazon warehouse, pick up packages in my car, and then deliver them to people's addresses. And because of this, I got paid a little bit extra income for doing this. I didn't do this instead of a 9-to-5 job. I did this in addition to my 9-to-5 job. So I would work 40 hours a week, or whatever amount of hours I was working during the week, Monday through Friday. And then on Saturday and Sunday, I would do Amazon Flex on the weekends for about 4 hours a day or something like that, just for some extra money. Usually I would get paid about $54 for the hours that I worked. Another example of a side job or weekend job is I worked at a weekend at a beauty product company. This company had lipstick, moisturizer, things like that, and I would take them and I would put them inside a box, and that's what I would be doing for about a couple hours a day on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. So that's another example of a side income that I used to do. I also did photography. Sometimes I would go out and take photos of my friends, or I would go to an event and document what happened at the event, and I would get paid some money or food or whatever for this. So that's another example of a side income I had. Next up is working overtime. So I live in California. I'm not sure where you guys live, but it might not be the same for everybody. But in California, any time worked over 8 hours in a work day or over 40 hours in a work week is considered overtime. These don't stack. So let's say you work 12 hours in each day of the week, and you get paid overtime for those hours over 8 hours a day. However, if you count at the end of the week how many hours you worked, those don't count again as overtime. They only count either per the day or per the week. Sorry if that's confusing, but that's just really how it works. So, for example, let's say in one day I worked 11 hours. I would get paid 3 hours of overtime because 11 minus 8 is 3. But let's say that I worked 42 hours in a week. I would get paid 2 hours of overtime because 42 minus 40 is 2 hours of overtime. And overtime pay, you get paid 1.5 times. So if I was making $10 regularly, overtime I would get paid $15 an hour. Now, any time worked after 12 hours in a work day, or after 8 hours on the 7th consecutive day in the work week, is considered double time. And double time is exactly what it sounds like. You get paid double the amount you would get regularly paid. In my old job, I used to work 70 to 80 hours a week, so I regularly made a bunch of overtime and sometimes double time pay. Now, this was very stressful, and it had a very negative effect on my health because all I did was work, sleep, work, sleep, work, sleep, and that's it. It's a very crazy life to have, and I sacrificed a lot of my free time, and I didn't have a social life at all. But the benefit of this is that I paid off my student loans very quickly. My student loans, they were such a big thing for me to worry about all the time. And whenever I was looking at things that I wanted to do or buy, I would always have in the back of my head the student loans that I owed, and that made it very stressful. So I wanted to get rid of my student loans very quickly. And working a lot of overtime, that helped me pay my student loans off very quickly. Should only be a short-term option, though. I wouldn't recommend this be a long-term thing that you do for like a decade or whatever. I would say maybe a year would be good. But yeah, working 80 hours a week, it's very stressful. But that is one way that I increase my income, though, by working a lot of overtime. Another way that I increase my income is by credit card bonuses and rewards. So a lot of credit cards, they give you an initial bonus when you open the card. For example, the Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card gives you a $200 reward for spending at least $1,000 within the first 3 months of opening. And I don't know if this works for you personally, but for me, I'm able to repeat this over and over again. So once I open up a Bank of America Cash Rewards card, I spend $1,000 within the first 3 months of opening it, and I get $200. And then I would repeat this over and over again. I would sign up for a new one and do the same thing over and over. And that gives me a little bit of extra income, every couple months or so. Also, many credit cards, they give you cash for purchasing things using the credit card. So for example, if you eat at a restaurant and pay using the Capital One Saver Cash Rewards credit card, you get paid 4% of the bill. So let's say that you go out to eat at a restaurant and you pay $100 for that dinner. You would get paid $4. So that's one way I increase my income, is through credit cards. The initial bonus and the rewards you get for spending money using the credit card. Another way I increase my income is through dividend stock investing. Now, a lot of people don't know what dividends are. I recently had to explain to my friend what dividends are because he just didn't know, and a lot of people don't know. Because they don't really teach you this in school or anything, you have to actually learn this for yourself. So, what it is that many companies, they pay you money for owning the stock. So for example, I bought shares of AT&T for $37.84 a share. Every 3 months, they pay me 51 cents a share. So theoretically, if I have 100 shares of AT&T, every 3 months, I will get paid $51. The reason I love this form of income is that it's very passive. You don't need to actually wake up in the morning, go to work, clock in, work for 8 hours, then drive back home. You don't need to do any of that. All you need to do is be the owner of the stock. As long as you own the stock and the company is paying a dividend, you're going to get paid that money, which is great. Eventually, I want to have enough money in dividends being paid out to me every couple months that I don't need to go into work anymore. I could just live off of my dividends. I'm not at that point yet, but I do plan to reach it someday. Oh, I forgot to add, the dividend that companies pay, sometimes they go up over time. An example is AT&T. AT&T has increased the amount they paid in dividends year after year for the past, I think 38 years or so. So it might pay me 51 cents per share per quarter now. However, that could go up, which I'm very excited about. I'm looking forward to that. So those are the examples of the ways that I've increased my income. They've worked for me, and I don't know if they work for you, but I just wanted to share what's worked for me in increasing my income. Now let's go to my portfolio update. So right now, my portfolio is worth $63,598.03. $35,813.12 of that is in my CMA Edge account, or my taxable brokerage account. In my Roth IRA, I have $27,784.91. Any money that I make in my Roth IRA, or that I withdraw from my Roth IRA once I retire, I don't have to pay any tax on that, which is great. So my net contribution so far is $56,852.37. The total amount of money I've made from dividends so far is $4,307.76. And as a result of market performance, I've made $2,717.77. Let's go and look at what exact holdings I have in my portfolio. Now, if we look here in my CMA Edge account, right now I have $7,020.06 to invest. As for my holdings, I have 12 shares of HYG, 30 shares of Johnson & Johnson, 10 shares of JNK, 291 shares of MLPX, 9 shares of 3M, 260 shares of Oxy, 18 shares of AT&T, 40 shares of Waste Management, and 40 shares of ExxonMobil. So that's for my regular taxable brokerage account. Let's go into my Roth IRA account. So in my Roth IRA account, right now I have $7,789.72 available to invest. By the way, if you have any suggestions on which stocks I should invest in, then give me a comment down below and tell me which stocks I should invest in, because I actually have a lot of cash available to invest right now. Now, as for my holdings, I have 2 shares of AbbVie, 10 shares of Chevron, 10 shares of Disney, 110 shares of EPD, 10 shares of Good, 10 shares of Land, 50 shares of L Brands, 80 shares of Oxy, 40 shares of Public Storage, and 43 shares of AT&T. Now, as you can see, there's some things that repeat because I want to own them both in my Roth IRA and in my regular taxable account, because I just honestly think it's just a good time to buy them. So that's the holdings I have in my accounts. Now let's go and look at what I bought and sold recently. If we go into my order status and look at the past 7 days, so within the past 7 days, I've bought 50 shares of Oxy at $39.35 per share, and I've bought 25 shares of Public Storage at $212.40. Let's also look at my estimated investment income. Now, as you can see, this calculates how much money in dividends I should be paid out throughout the next year. Now, for my Roth IRA, yearly I should get about $1,008.11. And it also shows you per month how much money I get paid in dividends per month. So in December, I should get about $108.55. In January, I should get about $64.87, and etc. It goes down like that. Now let's look at my CMA Edge account, or my regular taxable brokerage account. Now in here, it says I should get about $1,571.79 per year. And you could see the breakdown of each month, how much money in dividends I should be getting. In January, it says I should be getting around $214.88 in dividends, which is nice. I'm glad to be able to gain this much money in dividends, and I hope it goes up and up over the years. Well, that's it for my video, guys. I hope you guys liked me talking about the different ways I've increased my income, and I hope you enjoyed me going over my portfolio with you guys and showing you guys which specific stocks I've invested in and how much money I hope to be making with them. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.